I am love. I am peace. I am free. I have abundance. I have everything within me. For I was, for I am, for I always be. We are love. We are peace. We are free. We have abundance. We have everything within us. For we are, for we will always be. For Mother Earth is love. For Mother Earth has peace. For Mother Earth is free. For Mother Earth has abundance. For Mother Earth has everything within her. For she was, for she is, for she will always be. And so it is spoken, so it has been written, and it is done.
You have entered into a dimension of truth, where time does not exist and illusions are shattered. The journey of truth is intense. The journey of truth will set you free. Consider this a warning as you enter the dimension of truth uncompromised.
All right, family. Welcome to the Truth Uncompromised show. I am your host, Rhonda, and tonight is, y'all almost forgot the doggone month. That's a shame. April 23rd. We have a great show planned for you. We are continuing our series, and we're almost towards the end, actually. The Real Pilgrams, the true story of immigrants coming to America. If this is your first time joining us for this series is pretty much about the entire myths that were built around who were really the pilgrims in the Americas, who were really the slaves, who were really the Indians, what really was the founding fathers' purpose, and who really sat on the seat of power or thrones in Europe. So if this is your first time catching the series, I highly recommend you go back to the beginning to get a clearer picture of the series. We use two main sources for this series. We also brought in supplemental sources, and I'm going to grab tonight additional reference material for you on this topic. But the main two that we used were they were white and they were slaves, The Untold History of the Enslavement of Whites in Early America by Michael A. Hoffman II, White Trash, The 400-Year Untold History of Class in America by Nancy Eisenberg. I do also want to, once again, reference Brother Camario, I never pronounce his name right, Kurimea. Check out his YouTube channel. Last week, he did a recap on this very topic that he has done over the years. It was 4 hours, and he did an absolutely wonderful job. I highly recommend you check out his latest video on the topic as well. So I do want to give a shout out to the YouTube family. Thank you for being in the house. Brother Scotty, Sis Lisa, Brother G. People are starting to fall in now. 88. We have you in the house. And I saw some people earlier. I'm trying to scroll back up. Beloved, I can't pronounce your name, so Brother B, shout out to you as well. Shout out to all the family callers in the house, and shout out to Green Beasley. So if you are joining us via Blog Talk chat tonight, for whatever reason tonight I cannot chop it up with you all in the chat room. I cannot type in. So if you want that type of back and forth dialogue with me or others, I would suggest you go to YouTube, because that's where most of the folk are. All right, so with that said, I am going to bring on my co-hosts, Brother Sean and Sis Sandra. Let me bring on Brother Sean. Peace and love, brother. How are you?
Wholeness and power, sis. I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. It's good to hear your voice.
Likewise.
All right. Let's bring on Sis Sandra. You know it's a lot cracking as usual. So.
Indeed.
All right. Peace and love, sis. How are you?
Oh, peace and love, sis. I'm fine. How about yourself? And Brother Sean?
I'm good.
I'm good. Wholeness and power, sis.
And the family.
Good to hear your voice, sis.
Thank you. It's great to hear yours, too. Especially in this day and age.
I know. It's so much jumping off. Indeed. So, sis, did you want to start out with, go ahead on with the fuckery? And while you do that, I'm gonna go grab the list that I promised the family of the supplement material that Purple Pill was nice enough to lay out for us. But if you want to go ahead on and get started with, go ahead on with the fuckery, sis.
Oh, well, there's a lot. I had a lot to say, but what I'm finding out is a lot of the doctors who still have good sense is out there telling people that this stuff is all set up. It doesn't even satisfy a scientific model that they're going by, and Fauci and Gates and whoever else they have up there are telling people wrong things. And I had already said that in the beginning, that they are not really online what a virus is supposed to be like, unless it's a nanovirus they done made or something like that. But there's a lot of doctors now, and I take my hat off to them. They're stepping up to the plate and telling people that this is not the scientific model, that Fauci's put money in Wuhan, and Gates put money into China, and Gates working for China. All this kind of stuff is out there now. And that makes me feel better, because I'm like, the people are coming out of their shells and getting, wake-up call. Because the more we cater down to the stuff, we can protect ourselves without the fear that comes with it. And that's what they had the planet on lockdown, with fear. But we can protect ourselves. We can be safe without being crazy. And people are killing each other. The husband killed his wife because she supposedly had the virus. And I'm like, this is crazy. People rioting, people beating up each other in China. They beat up each other in the Americas. The melanated were beating up the Chinese. The Chinese is beating up the melanated, because you spread it. So that's
which is stupid, because that's stupid. So if I feel you have Rona, but I'm gonna turn around and kick your ass, don't that break the rules of contact?
Well, you hit somebody and they blood spray on you. You would be
sweat and all of that shit. So that's just, you know what? It is what it is. One thing that all of this has proven is that you can see folks for who they truly are.
Right.
I know some folks, and not a lot of folks. It's people have handled it different ways. Some people, it was a huge wake-up call for them to not be reliant or so reliant on a lot of these services, to really think about our food supply, et cetera, connecting with their children, getting more into their children's schoolwork, et cetera. Other people, it was the opposite. They wanted to break out. They want to be back out doing what they want to do, and that's their business. And other people, they just could not handle isolation. And to me, out of all of it, that says a lot. So let's just damn with being on lockdown. To me, now this is just me. That's deep. So you means to tell me you can't be with fucking self? That's deep. That's deep. You gotta have a liquor store, the barber shop, the club, not the club, the club, and if you, the drugs, and if you are of a certain age, the tavern. I'm a Gen Xer, so baby boomers, they didn't call it the club or the bar. It was the motherfucking tavern. That still cracks me up. The tavern, that's deep. You don't want your old lady getting on your nerves. You don't want to be in the house with your old lady or your old man. Your motherfucking children getting on your nerves. That really should say a lot.
Yeah, you're in the wrong house.
That really, really should say a lot. And for those that, really have to get back to work, woo, I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. But the flip side of that should be, what is your backup plan?
Right.
What's your backup plan? So that's out of all of this. I don't give a flying blank what Trump stomp. None of them say, because they all get on there and flip-flop. Because Georgia's governor opened back up. I think his ass going to open it back up tomorrow. And Trump card was all for it. And then when he said he going to open back up the nail salon, hair salon, massage, bowling, restaurants, even Trump card was like, whoa, bruh. What, bruh? I ain't say all that. I do care about people. Be responsible with it. So these are adults. You are supposed to be an adult. And when we talk about every week we get on this air, we talk about sweeping around your own doorstep. We talk about being responsible for self. We talk about what the true definition of sovereignty is. I mean what the fuck I say. None of that should matter. What do you feel in your heart should be done? Then do it. Roll with it. Nobody should have to come on the TV or come on the air or get on Facebook and tell you a motherfucking thing. What do you feel needs to be done? Because at the end of the day, when you're making these decisions, you live with the consequences. And when you are the leader of your family, the parent of your family, your decisions, your actions, you and your family have to live with those consequences. Now, to me, this should be a huge wake-up call. But I know just for me personally, it really showed me who is whom and who is a follower and who truly walks and lives what the fuck they say. That's what this should be about. This hive mentality is very, very dangerous. Right. Now, that's just me. I'm sorry, but go ahead, sis.
No, you're right, because these people are going to jump on each other if you don't wear your mask and all this kind of stuff. We all have to be responsible for our own welfare and the ones around us, but we don't have to be violent with it. We don't have to beat up anybody about that kind of stuff. So it's just a lot we're dealing with. We got our visitors from other planets or wherever solar systems that are coming in, and there's a lot of them coming in, and that's so awesome. I'll be going, whoa, look at that. So,
indeed, sis.
Gina Marie is pretty good on that.
Sure thing, Brother Sean.
I mean, in certain venues, violence may not be necessary. We at war. That was an attack launched against us. That ain't something that just fell out of a tree and everybody started getting fucked up. We being attacked. Somebody need their heads kicked, but it's a matter of directing it at the right people.
Yeah. Exactly. 1,000% agree. Because if you do your research, you already have the paper
right
trail.
There. Right. It's
exactly.
Right in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It really is.
Ain't nothing to debate about.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you really about that life and you about action, there's a clear paper trail telling you who the fuck attacked us.
Exactly.
You say you're a warrior, you want to cast spells. There you go.
Yep.
There you go, right?
I can't even argue with you on that. Absolutely, because it's plenty. If the receipts are there,
and they got plenty
the receipts
of them
are there. Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
They openly admit they're at war with us. They even took it so far as to put our community as the face of it.
Yeah, and that's something.
With all the line and through all of this, new reset, new system, new everything. Not once do they acknowledge who you truly are.
Well,
because they deal with corporate citizens.
Exactly.
You got to be a good citizen. You continue to be a good citizen. It might be another round of stimulus checks coming.
Might be
right back. Yeah, that you can get right back.
Right.
They're just going to let you hold it for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nigga, we need that money. We out here starving. Everybody knew this shit was getting ready to happen. Knew something was getting ready to happen.
Yeah,
exactly.
They even told us to be prepared.
Yes, they did.
The way we got it is the way we're going to keep it.
All these people that people call crazy, these preppers, this, that, or the other. I bet you ain't one prepper hungry. You could call them
Show in the fuck
call them
whatever the fuck
you
you want to. That's right.
But they eating good, and they gonna shoot the shit out of any goddamn body come on their life. They've
been waiting. They like melanated people say they wish a motherfucker would.
And niggas still out here robbing each other.
Thank you, Brother Sean.
It's crazy. Niggas still robbing and killing each other. And there's an open war declared on us. And we ain't even united behind that. We still bickering and arguing with each other. And you know what's even crazier though, sis?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is now talking about Q, the deep state, draining the swamp.
You know what? I got to take a sip of my water. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
I thought these were supposed to be the most spiritual of the spiritual. They got cures for everything. And y'all listening to the Donald now?
Yeah, I was shocked, and I didn't even know. I didn't even know folks were rolling that way. I was shocked.
I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what happened to being gods and shit. Now you waiting on
bring it.
And the Sarah and the Sarah. You back to waiting on shit. I mean, if I remember correctly, we've been being told about this for years. Throughout history, and even in movies, they show you about alien invasions or aliens coming back to help us, and then you got the stupid motherfuckers that want to try and fight them or push a fear campaign against them. So they be like, fuck y'all. Same type shit going on today.
No, I totally agree.
You know, they waiting for all these different races of aliens that are quote unquote pale skin, blue eyes, golden hair. And they're waiting on pale skinned angels with the white wings. And motherfuckers always waiting for some goddamn body.
Savior. And I would even say waiting on Trump card. Because that's still waiting on somebody. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, they doing what they doing. Whatever they doing ain't got nothing to do with what you supposed to be doing.
Exactly. Exactly.
I mean,
I
you
see
just
you 216. I'm
show.
Coming to you.
You watching the show.
Go ahead, Brother Sean.
You just watching the show. And when it's time for you to clean house, after you done cleaned your own house.
Exactly.
Your own bloodline. After you done took care of everything you need to take care of with that, so that you can bring your DNA codes and everything online, and you're harmonious with mama, so that you can actually effectuate change. Then kicking ass ain't gonna be no problem. You gonna be able to wipe motherfuckers off of here with just a thought.
Exactly.
Like poof, be gone.
Exactly. Thank you for that, Brother Sean. You actually right in tune with my go ahead on with the fuckery. I see you 216. I'm coming to you in just a sec. Because my go ahead on with the fuckery is just as Brother Sean said when he opened up with, in the meantime, you know, melanated people still murdering, still robbing each other.
Yeah.
Rona, none of that motherfucking shit matters. And it just baffles me. That, again, none of those root issues are dealt with. Because we're always looking outside of self. We're always looking to someone else to solve our problems. I was just disgusted to hear a murder, you know, bodies still dropping, doing, you know, a supposed shutdown. And then, you know, people want to talk about, oh, you know, they trying to kill us, blah, blah, blah. That may be true, but I tell you what, they really didn't have to do that because you motherfuckers killing each other. I'm not talking about it, people on this call or whatever or in this show, but y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. And until melanated people get real with your motherfucking self, clean up your own conditions, it's going to be is what it is. Like I said, and I'm going to continue to say, don't come up in my face talking about no God, I'm God, we rule kingdoms, we can do this, we can do that. If you can't control your household, You can't control your block. If you can't control your block, you sure in the fuck can't run no nation. Get your shit together. It starts with self. That's just on the physical level. It's still the same on the spiritual level, even more importantly. You're not going to win no physical war. It is a spiritual war. And in order to do spiritual battle, you have to have your spiritual house in order. And it does require going within, doing some hard evaluation with self, and cleaning your shit up. But that's the very last thing people talk about. They talk about everything else. And none of that everything else can happen if you don't start with self, if you don't get grounded and get on your game spiritually and tap into the energy. So that's my go ahead on with the fuckery. All right, let me bring on 216. 216, your line is open.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, peace and love. Yes, peace and love.
Peace and love, Sister Rhonda. What's up? What it do? Yeah, and peace and love to the panel.
Brother G.
Yes, ma'am. This is G Major. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good to hear your voice, brother.
I can dig
Boldness and power, bro.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, big brother. Yes. And hey, I just had to trip because I you gotta excuse me for a second because I might start laughing. I did the Bobby Hemmett already before I got on the line, so the spirits make me feel good. I'm good, but to hear Brother Sean say, and you say you're God's, but you ain't, now I'm paraphrasing, but you ain't acting it, you ain't living that life,
You ain't about that life.
Okay, so I had to write, stop, Brother Sean, because, hey, I just got crucified on a different platform, which I still give respect to the sister. I had just watched, let me see, within the last 2 days, The Angel Has Fallen, if I'm saying the name of that movie correctly. It's with Morgan Freeman. It's a sequel to Olympus Has Fallen. So the Secret Service agent, which just like with Morgan Freeman in the movie The Last Night, and he gave the Bartow clan the whole house over to his retainer, which of course, as we know, and me primarily knowing through Truth Uncompromised and Sister Rhonda's studies and the panels, I know who I am now. I know who I am in the conjunction and connection of the Black nobles that got into our American Indian bloodline. And knowing my American Indian bloodline, which as a sister that I would listen to, where she says, no grandma killers, talk to grandma. I went to my grandma's, and I went to the rest of my family members. And when they start saying, well, yeah, from our last name, but still that was adopted. And then on my father's side, we're stewards. But on my father's mother's side, wow, to listen to the brother's platform, Blackbeard Mirage, his YouTube platform, and the way that brother gets down, he did a YouTube post on the Black Hawk, Chief Black Hawk, and the Sac Fox Indians, the Indians of the woodlands, in the Midwest. But he did that. So, being told when I was even 4 to 5 that we're Black Hawk Indians, and so to understand who Chief Black Hawk was and what they called him, which I've learned that from Blackbeard Mirage, and then also Carameo. Ahua.
Carameo. Yeah, I never pronounced his name right. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, and this is and I'm complete. You feel me? I'm the Silver Surfer. I'm complete. Born on the number 9. Constellation. So still yet that's a planet. The Mercury in the constellation of Virgo. Mercury would be the planet of communications. So with certain languages. It might come to me, and I don't know everything, but still, I do say if it wasn't for you and Carameo and Blackbeard Mirage to see my family members, and when Carameo did within his body of work, showed pictures from the tribes of the Shinnecock, the Shinnecock, the Sac Indians, the Fox Indians, and a host of other tribes. I've seen Indian sisters and a chief looking just like my aunts and grandmother from the 1700s. So I honor you guys so much, and then I see how truth does come from all doctrines. Like me,
right.
I worked in media, and I was honored with a letter of recommendation from George Bush Sr. and Dan Quayle's administration, which I was too young to understand it and naive, but I knew that the people that I worked for, I was like, hell no. I left it at my studio because, even when I was around Will Smith a lot back in the day, Tupac once, when he was with Digital Underground back in the day, I still realize the rituals that they will put you through to move from 500,000 to 1.5 to 5 million. And I'll be damned, and I'm kind of like this movie called The Skulls, talking about the Bush family. And so the senator at the end, when the brother let all that shit go for as far as money and position, the senator said to him, he presented him with a verbal contract. He said that if I call upon you, after you take this oath, when I call upon you, will you and ask you for a favor, whatever the favor is, will you deny me? Will you deny my contract with you? And I'm paraphrasing. And the gentleman just walked away from it all. And when he was walking away and the senator was looking at the back of him, he said, "Well done, son. Well done." So the shit I experienced and seen working in the media,
right.
Them spooky ass niggas, kind of like what Big Brother Sean says, and what you talk about, is all these niggas always talking about. Oh, he probably an agent. He said he worked in the media. Letter of recommendation. God damn it, I walked away from all that shit. And we will walk our paths alone. And we seek the knowledge of, like what George Bush would say. He said, we're going to establish this new world order and 1,000 points of light. That's 1,000 angles of light, 1,000 angels. So in that, I would say, look at all doctrines, because they still only talk about the doctrines and religions that come out of here, the Americas. The lot of land that was promised to Shem's bloodline. So with that said, I learned a lot of that from Sister Tanya Moore, and her YouTube platform is Yisrael Redemption, and she doesn't harp on no religion, but she definitely shows, and she speaks authentic Aramaic, which is a American Indian dialect. So that's the language that Jesus spoke. That's the language of the angels. That's the language, the green language of the animals. So these, the promised land, everybody done came here. So yeah, they got together, and they're like, hey, if these people ain't gonna wake up and we keep on prodding them and sticking them, if we're not showing them right now that we're slaughtering all of the pigs and the chickens in Iowa from the pig farms and the plants in Iowa, And in China, they're slaughtering, loads and loads of 18-wheelers. It's like almost like a crater, and they're putting the pigs in there. And,
I didn't know that.
About to nuke them all. Yeah. I'll send you the links through Messenger and all that. And that information was just posted from Yusuf L High Frequency YouTube channel, Yusuf L. But that's them also even almost telling you that, hey, we're destroying the flock. Okay, the flock that you eat of from the meat markets that's tainted with the slow death that we done put into y'all, so we can reign over y'all's this promised land, and enjoy the blessings that we were promised with. In a metaphoric type of way, they're showing that we're slaughtering all of this meat, from pig, chicken to beef. But it's a metaphor too. It's a metaphor for me to show that we're slaughtering the sheep. Who's the shepherd? Who's controlling the flock? Is y'all niggas gonna wake up? Because we might even be tired of this bullshit. Because yes, we can't go like Big Brother Yusuf L says on his platform High Frequency. He says with the 5G. That's Blackbeard on Blackbeard Mirage on his YouTube channel. They can't transfer, those people that have cleaved themselves to us. They can't transfer up to the 5G frequency. But it's like if we still have our blood tainted with the stuff that we've been eating, and even though we haven't been eating of the biblical the food laws, if we have not transferred and cleansed our vessel and our soul and our organs clean enough to deal with, as the sister Rhonda would say, Mama Earth, and as the brother Sean would say, Mama Earth, she's cleaning herself, so she's burning all the shit straight up off of her. You know what I'm saying? So if you still got that, fuckery within your river of life, within your blood, then certain black people that are even melanated are going to be getting dizzy and confused, and it's coming after the black men in the older generation, the ones that still know how to tell you with your grandmas what name that you are, and what clan that ties you to the land, and they're telling you ain't no time that they ain't been putting everything out in the public for the public to know. But this sometimes is only for those that do have been blessed to be woke, and like said with truth uncompromised. And then as far as me, when I learned what blood I come through and especially through Caramel's platform and Blackbeard Mirage, oh shoot, I'm almost ready to, as they say, this is just but a blink in time. And my objective is to be Silver Surfer and drop that and even turn into Thanos and do my father's bidding, or the great architect, or the great mind. The all universe is mine. The 7 immutable laws are the manure, 7 immutable laws of the candlestick. I may need to go after this over to a different universe or a different galaxy, because we are but at the end of the Milky Way galaxy. So to get closer to home, the mother of the Milky Way galaxy, we got to try to get closest to the holies of holies, that black hole. You know what I'm saying? So, but even beyond that, we have to sustain our seed. And I'm glad. So with that said, I'm gonna digress and fall back, because I'll start talking too much. But I thank you. Thank you.
Great to hear your voice. Thank you, Brother G. Great to hear your voice. And come back. Now you know how to get in the little queue, so you good. I was able to see you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Peace and honor to the elders, too, the elder panel, Sean and Big Sister.
Peace and love.
All right. Peace and love, brother.
That's your neck of the woods.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis. I see you 313. I'm talking to you. Go ahead, sis.
They left some pork at the ports and it was rotted when this virus broke out. Now he's bringing it up. They're destroying it. Well, pork has tainted the planet, and if the dietary laws were to be followed that we used to follow, I don't know why they're doing it unless they're trying to force their people, the other folks on this planet, to be cannibals because they are destroying their meat supply. Pork should not be our meat supply, and and we should do the dietary laws as he said that was set for us as a people. But I question why they're doing that, because are they trying to make amends for what they've done on this planet or what? Because I understand it.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
Pork is a variable of two animals put together. I heard of a dog and mouse or something, but it's a variable, and it was brought here. So if it was brought here by the invaders, why are they destroying it?
Well, it's interesting. Just first of all, I remember one of my sis, and she'll know who I'm talking about. We were talking about pork or pigs, and she said something that really took me back and made me think. She said, well, you know that pink pig is a form of leprosy. And my mouth about fell open. She said, yeah, because the natural boar is not that color. The natural boar is dark. Yep. The wild boar is dark. So that pink pig is a form of leprosy and has parasites, all this, that, and the third, 1, 2, 3, 4. So
it does.
Again, in their defense, they straight told people, we got to close down the motherfucking factory.
Yeah, they did.
Because folks up in here with the Rona, so we got to close this shit down. Now, this was in the Americas, so I knew that they was destroying that meat. But I didn't know that it was going on in China, and I also heard that it was another chicken factory.
Yeah, exactly.
That they had to do the same thing in the Americas. Now, I don't know about y'all, but if you've ever driven past a chicken factory,
thanks. It's nice.
It's rough, y'all. It's rough. Now, again, I don't judge people for what you eat. You do you. We are just putting the information out there. But if you do decide to still partake, because it's going to take you some time to wean yourself off of that. I mentioned this last week. That pork and that beef and all of that jazz and chicken, you're supposed to be soaking that in some apple cider vinegar and water. That pork and chicken, you need to be pre-boiling that shit and soaking it. And fish, you need to be soaking in cold salt water. All right. So again, that's just some tips for you all. If you do still partake in the meat, there's truly no judgment on my part. I mean that sincerely from the bottom of my heart, just giving you some tips. But that is considered your warning.
Yeah.
For them to come out and tell you they had to shut that motherfucking plants down, that is considered your warning. Sorry, go ahead, sis.
What I'm trying to say, if maybe I should say it out, maybe they're trying to make amends for what they did and trying to cover their tracks.
Maybe so.
Because they're burning up their money. And pig, they know, was not acceptable on this side of the planet, but they brought it over here anyway. So with those space vehicles in the sky, and the planets so close to the Earth. Those maybe they said, this is what I'm thinking, because now they know that they have gone past the mark of no return. Because they done shot us up, stuck us up, and old Gates wanted to vaccine us up and put chips in it.
Yeah, it's real interesting. And that could be, sis. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
All unnatural things got to go, period.
Yeah.
So whatever way it go, it got to go.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But what's ironic, considering the elders are the gatekeepers, the primary source of information, who this thing been killing mostly?
The elderly.
Who they owe all this Social Security money to that they ain't got no more?
The elderly.
And it's just all convenient. Our people start talking about talk to your elders. Now they bumping them off.
Well, with the same type of process they did when they came over here with smallpox, viruses. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's two sides to everything. There is a weaponized version of 5G that's supposed to keep people in fear so that you don't realize that you can overcome that.
Yep.
That in order for that technology to function properly, you have to be functioning properly, or it will be a weapon. You being at a low frequency and being out of balance is what makes it weaponized. They don't have any real power.
No.
They use all our shit. Just like the brother brought up Brother G brought up Bush's speech. They ain't doing nothing but talking about our dark magic that they told us was evil.
Evil, exactly.
They using our shit to manifest stuff. Yep.
And it pisses me off to the highest that we don't see it. I'm sorry, go ahead on, Brother Sean.
Got us in fear of our own shit.
Yep.
Got niggas scared of the boogeyman when niggas are the boogeyman.
Exactly.
I mean, it's all about wholeness. They read and shit and tell you shouldn't read it, but they the ones you looking up to. They the ones you asking to lead you.
Yep, it's crazy to me.
But you won't read the shit that they read. You just gonna read what they told you to.
Exactly.
Just like if you know your shit, if you know you, and you doing what you supposed to do, if you a god, emperor, king, queen, goddess, whatever titles people like to use, saying that they the shit. When that motherfucker said corona and stay in the house with no real guards and shit, been in the goddamn house in fear with a bunch of toilet paper.
The toilet paper was funny. That was funny.
Real God be like, Corona, what the fuck is that? Poof, be gone.
Yeah. Who cares about that stuff?
I mean, I don't know. Unless God just a title that people use. I mean, like bro, and boo, and you know, all that type of shit. I mean, I just don't see no power behind all the titles.
I would agree.
That's why I don't use them titles. Those are titles within the system. Those titles have nothing to do with natural law. Nothing. But
that's a separate story that nobody wants to deal with because they're still stuck on the man. It's just the matrix itself. If people aren't, I'm just going to keep saying it all goes back to self. And nobody's going to get out of this without doing your own individual work. You can listen to all the calls you want, join whatever group you want to join, fill whatever paperwork you feel deemed to fill out. If you can't go in to self and make it happen, and it's not for me to get up on here to tell you how to make it happen. It's not for Brother Sean to get up here and tell you how to make it happen. You have to know within yourself, within your DNA code, how to make it happen for you.
I mean, sis, if people just think about it, I mean, you mean to tell me you a God, this, that, or the other, and you can't do shit without this man's permission or his help?
And the governors and all that mess.
You can't do nothing without them, without the system? Nothing?
Well, Brother Sean, you know how that is. I mean, we know people that scream that, but they depend on those very sources to eat. You know I'm not making it up. You know it's true. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. That's why individual conditions do not change. Because people have to be responsible for self, and they haven't gotten that yet. Sis Cheryl dropped in the chat room that over the weekend, 20 plus people, youngins, died in Chi-Town. So, I mean, what are we really talking about here? When we want to scream, we built kingdoms, this, that, God, queen, king. I'm going to have a harem, I'm going to do this. Really? But neighborhoods still in the same condition.
Yeah. He don't forget that man that got out of prison and went and murdered somebody.
Folks still got to depend on the system to eat. So it is what it is. Just at a minimum, you're supposed to be tapping into your own individual magic to create something for yourself. That's why I, had to tip my hat off to Sis Set when she said, you niggas ain't created nothing. Well, she didn't say you niggas. My bad, sis. I don't want to put words in your mouth. You're not off the chain like I am. You all haven't created anything for yourself. You want to say as above, so below? Yeah, because you haven't created anything. You can't even change your own individual personal conditions. So it is what it is.
Yeah,
it is what it is at this point. We could come on here until we blew in the face. It's not going to make a difference if folks aren't going to do the work.
This is true.
It's not going to make a difference. I'm not coming on here no weeks to judge nobody on what you didn't believe, what you didn't say. All you're going to consistently hear me say is do you and go within. That's why I limit what this one then said, what Q, Elemental P, Trump card them said, Fossey them said. That's exactly why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because the focus should be on self. You are in a critical spiritual time, a very powerful spiritual time. And either you gon' fucking make it happen or you ain't. You. Not Q, not Elemental P, not Trump card, not the aliens in the motherfucking sky. I'm talking about you. What are you doing for self? What are you doing to break the dependency on the system that you claim you hate? What messages are you personally receiving from the ethers and the realms? Not what you, Elemental P, them said. What are you getting from the realm? What have you created? That's what this is about. It's not doom and gloom. It's the ending of some shit and a new beginning that you have to create for you. And those that can't create, those that can't make the leap to the higher frequencies, then you go back in the cycle of slavery and whomever those controllers are of the fucked up realm, you dance to their music. This shit is not hard. It's not mystical. It ain't none of that. Either you're responsible for self. If not, you dance to somebody else's music. And when we say responsible to self, you got to be all the way responsible for self. You can't half-ass it. You can't be waiting on Sky Daddy. And I'm not talking about the 95%. I want us to be clear. It is what it is with them. That's their belief system. I'm on 5% motherfuckers. You can't be waiting on Sky Daddy. And I'm with Brother Sean. I was like fucking shocked that spiritual quote quote people that been in the game for motherfucking decades, following Q, Elemental P now. Really? What happened to all the motherfucking decades of studies with you going to the different realms and the ancestors telling you this and that? You should fucking know where we are. What happened to all of that? That's where we are. It is up to you. It always has been. They put it in your face over and over and over and over and over and over again, although they should not have to do that. They should not have to do that. These are things that you should know. We're not babies anymore.
Hey, sis.
Either you gonna do it or you ain't. I'm sorry. Go ahead on, Brother Sean. I promise 313 we coming to you. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
They give the rules to the game. Period.
Well.
I mean, you got all these researchers to say that they research law, Constitution, this treaty, that treaty. All they are is rules that you're supposed to be going by in this system.
Right.
Period. It's just rules in a fraudulent system.
In a fraudulent system.
The reset is starting the game over again.
That's all it is.
Just like people do on Madden and all them other games they play. After you go through a season, you reset it and start you another season.
Right.
Or right in the middle of the game if you getting fucked up and you don't like the outcome. You reset that.
See how you play video games. Yep.
It's all the same thing.
Yes, indeed.
The contracts. You doing paperwork. Every time you put your signature on something, you agreeing to play a certain game. And then you get mad because you don't know the rules of the game. Or you didn't pay attention to the fact that the game was designed to have you fucked up to begin with.
Exactly.
So you basically agreed to be fucked up. I mean, it's all ours to begin with. Some figure out how to get privileges. But that's about it.
Right.
You beat a case or two. You might get to keep your house a little longer. But then what? I mean,
yep.
More motherfuckers that went to jail that still successfully played the game.
Mm-hmm.
And that ain't got nothing to do with skin color.
No, it doesn't.
Because they don't give a fuck who you is. They want your energy.
Yep.
People keep talking about money. It really ain't about money. That was just the way to keep you playing the game.
Playing the game.
You can't play Monopoly without no Monopoly money. When you run out of money, you off the damn board.
Mm-hmm.
So they wanted to keep draining your energy, so let me give these niggas some money. This economy and this particular system as ran by the banking cartel can never really go broke because they've been printing money out of thin air from day one.
Exactly.
So that's not actually what's broke. That sort of financial system. There's too many people that's waking up and like, fuck this. I ain't playing this game.
Exactly.
This bullshit over.
Yep.
We ain't doing this shit no more.
Right.
So they doing everything they can to put motherfuckers in fear.
Yep.
And get you to accepting that money again. Get you to the point where you anxious to be a good nigga slave. I was ready to go to work. Yes, boss. I was ready. I was a good nigga. Yeah, all that time at home, I can't stand to be around the family or nothing. I've got to work for you, boss. I've got to work. And Trump keep telling niggas, oh yeah, I'm bringing all the jobs back, all the factory jobs, everything back. Jobs upon jobs upon jobs upon jobs. I'm even going to stop the immigrants from coming in this bitch to make sure you niggas get to work.
He sure did. He sure did.
Y'all got to give me my goddamn stimulus money back. I didn't give you niggas that for free. That was an advance. You got to have a way to pay that shit back, nigga.
Which was an insult to me.
Right. You know how the game go, nigga. You don't get nothing for free. You niggas spend enough time in jail. You know it's a double up on shit. You don't get nothing for free.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. You're right, Brother Sean.
The only time things been free is when you've been right with your mama.
Exactly. But
Even
she's not the focus.
Well,
she's not the focus. The 5%, she's not the focus.
But
now, 1% she's the focus, but with the 5%, with the other 4%, they on some motherfucking bullshit. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
But how many of us, long as you've been good to your mama, if you needed to go back home and she's still around and you needed something, she gonna be there for you because you've been what you're supposed to be to her.
Yep.
That's why there's plenty of niggas, grown niggas, right now sleeping in their mama basement. They ain't got no
their mama basement. Nope. Cutting YouTube video. You know I ain't lying. Cutting my fucking YouTube videos and all. They motherfucking YouTube stars. Yep.
Mm-hmm. And mama always gonna let her baby girls come back home if they need to.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's the microcosm of the relationship we should be having with Mama Earth.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I digress.
Agreed, brother. Agreed. And hence was my opening song for those that thought it was religious. No, it was a dedication to Mother Earth, because out of all of this, folks need to truly get that she has the last say. She studied raising up her vibration, her Schumann resonance. She don't give a fuck about Q, elemental P, trump card, reset, $1,200 stimulus check, Rona, none of that bullshit. She got to do what she got to do for her.
What was the song? It was fuzzy and.
It was Cali Day. Cali Day, for every mountain. Yeah, for every mountain. But
yeah.
You couldn't hear it?
No.
Okay.
I heard the noise, but I didn't know what it was saying.
Yeah, it was loud. It was like, because it was live. It was live. It was a live recording. But yeah, that's the whole point. We keep trying to bring up this change that is happening is directly linked to her vibratory rate rising, meaning yours should be rising as well. None of that other shit matters. It don't matter. It's not real. It's an illusion. All of it. But folks cannot break that spell of the matrix. And like we said I'm sorry, what'd you say, Brother Sean?
For me talking about that stuff, it's like when we talking about movies.
Yes.
You know, just breaking down what's going on, being an observer and enjoying the show. I mean, just picking up on shit as we go.
Right.
It's like with the movies, how we break down and analyze the movies. Mm-hmm. This is a reality show going on live.
It really is. That's all it is. It's a reality show. Absolutely.
I'm enjoying the show. I'm not emotionally invested and one side. I just like what they doing to each other. I mean, to me, in a movie like this, when my enemies going at it with each other, I'm not going to get mad because this one knocked that one on his ass. And even if that one get back up and knock the other one on his ass, I ain't going to get mad about that.
Right.
Each blow that they deal to each other is exciting to me.
It is what it is.
Fucking each other up, you dirty bastards. Go ahead and fuck each other up.
Yeah.
That's what's fucking up I got to do.
Yep. It is what it is. So hopefully folks will really clean up their own vessel. So let me go to 313. You've been so patient. I apologize. Let me come to you, 313. 313, your line is open. 313, your line is open. All right, I'm putting you back on hold. You must have pressed it by mistake. All right, then, family. All right, so to show you how this particular matrix is pretty much breaking down on that particular side, what happened earlier this week, and I know you all should know about this, where oil went into negative.
Really?
Yeah. Literally the oil, the price of oil tumbled into the negative. So anybody that knows anything about basic economics, you know that that dollar is called the petrodollar, right? Because it was directly tied to oil. Okay? So we keep telling you what's going on, and not we telling you, they are showing you what's going on. So nothing is hidden anymore, family. It's not them trying to hide anything from you. They can't. They can't at this point. It's not even undercover, secret, covert. It's right in your face what's going. So it's just based on what you are personally going to do with this energy for you. I'm not talking about a stimulus check, whether or not the system gonna be backed by gold, what this one or that one supposedly and allegedly gonna do. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the rising of Mother Earth's natural vibration and how your natural vibration should be rising along with hers. And you creating your reality that you want. That's what this is about. Now, in the meantime, you 4%ers, you're talking about everything else, but that energy level, things that are happening coming into the atmosphere, like the comet, which if you just do a little bit of research, you'll know that the comets over the different years or centuries, I must say, there has been quite heavily planetary events associated with those big comets. And if you go back some centuries, you'll see that kingdoms have failed when these particular comets come into the atmosphere. And also economies have collapsed. And there also has been, quote, quote, pandemics. All right? Trying to think if I want to read this. Hold on. I pulled another article. so here we go. Comet Atlas is approaching Earth, bringing energies from far, far away. This is off of awarenessact.com. I think Brother Rod posted this, if I'm not mistaken. This came out April 13th. According to astro.com, comets are in people's hearts associated with taboos and thought to be omens of something very unlucky or disastrous. We should not be freaking out. This comet will likely come and go without revealing some terrible fate to our planet. This comet, as it passes, will be a chance for each and every one of us to release our fears that we have in recent times been holding on to, and that in itself is a beautiful thing. This may have in the past been seen as a token of doom, but right now, after tasting these energies, I do not believe it is anything like that. This comet is going to force us to face things right now that are going to bring us down and tear us apart, only to lift us up once and all is said and done. Things are not always what they seem, and this comet passing should be seen as an energetic gift from the universe itself. While the people of the past will freak out and think the end of the world was coming because of something like this, we should not be so naive. This comet brings hope and should be used to cultivate more hope, considering what we are facing here on Earth right now. Things are going to get better, and the more we use these energies to our advantage, the better we will all feel collectively. All right, so again, that was an article called, off of the site awarenessact.com, and I think Brother Rod posted that on Facebook, if I'm remembering correctly. All right, so that's all the updates I had. We're going to get into the material, unless Brother Sean or Sis, you all have something you want to put on it. I got hoarse all of a sudden, y'all. Hold on.
You know, my neighbor said, he just told me that we're in the tail of the comet now. I guess it's over us. And I said, you see the green? He said, yeah.
I told you.
Mm-hmm. I hadn't talked about it to him or anything, you know, and he just told me today about it. I said, okay. And, of course, the planets are so close, so close. And we're supposed to be going through that Milky Way rift. And and what I studied about it is how we go through it, whether we're going to keep the sun or not for the time period that So we may have some darkness, so some people better get their candles and the oil and stuff together if there's stuff left in the stores.
Yeah, and I don't know if as far as their electrical grid system, which is very vulnerable. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very iffy, because I know people scream about 5G. They barely keeping that shit operable. Like I said, they've been testing it at least for 2 years. I'm going to say 3, because they at least tested a good year before it even hits the public. So let's say 3 years, and they still don't have it totally working. And let's be clear, that's being used so they can communicate via their AI and machinery, robotic stuff that they want to start bringing online to spin up that process. Because as we've talked before, their next game, their next reset, and I'm so glad Brother Sean brought that up, and I promise y'all, we don't talk to each other beforehand saying, okay, you say this, then I say this, you bring that up, then goddamn it, I'm gonna bring that up. We don't rock like that. like I've said before, this is about your soul consciousness. That's what this battle is. It is your soul consciousness. The reset is about resetting to AI / transhumanism / robotics. That's what this is about. And their 5G is just implementing their network system to start bringing these things online. But what I am telling you is Mother Earth's frequency is much higher than that funk-ass 5G. And I think they said China is spinning up 6G, if I'm not mistaken. Even that can't match how her frequency is rising so fast. They're behind what she's doing. So therefore, that means you have to, with your consciousness, rise above it. You have to rise above it because the battle is for your soul consciousness, your true energy. That's what the next reset is about. Deep H2O said, I've been talking about transhumanism for 8 years. Yeah, Deep H2O, a lot of, well, I'm not going to say a lot. Shit, I gotta word that motherfucking properly. The 1%ers, yes, have been talking about the transhumanism for quite some time. We're here now. We're at that point. So go ahead, sis. You're chopping at the bit to get in. Go ahead.
One of the doctors that I listened to said this social distancing is a prep for human monitoring. He says in the military, they use that. They know that if they bug you, like put a chip in you and stuff like that, if you have lots of people around you, they can't pick you out of all the people. But if you put them 6 feet apart, they can pick you up on their surveillance. And my neighbor, I haven't talked about this, man. My neighbor also says that Elon Musk is going to try to put steel columns around the earth to shield us in, I guess, or keep somebody out. I don't know. But that's their plan. So they're really trying to start containing the earth and controlling the people on it. Because
I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
Because the vaccines will have the chips.
News flash. They've been controlling the people with frequency.
Yeah, they have.
This shit ain't new. That's why every week we keep telling you to clean up your spiritual health, to go within, to raise your frequency. And when we get into the next series, we're going to talk about those things. This shit is not new. None of it is new. Just because they putting up some 5G towers or whatever the case may be, controlling the frequency ain't nothing new. That's what they do. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Brother Sean.
They already been using 5G and 6G technology in warfare for years.
I keep trying to tell folk that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Brother Sean.
The fact that they're talking about this now should be an indicator that you're supposed to be levels beyond that.
Exactly. That's what we're saying.
But I guess if you listening to them and constantly lowering your frequency and believing that they have all the answers.
Yep, and all the power.
Mm-hmm. When they have none.
Nope.
Why do they need everybody in fear? Why aren't they enraging everybody? Why aren't they having everyone ask for the truth?
Right.
Instead of it being this side saying this side saying that, and then you got the motherfuckers in the middle that's just making shit even worse.
Right.
They never push wholeness of truth, but y'all keep accepting bits and pieces of information in a state of fear.
Yep.
You're not thinking with a rational mind. You're thinking from an emotional aspect. Fear. You scared. All because they said something. They ain't actually did shit yet, but they told you they did it. And you all fucked up. Because all fucked up, don't know what you're going to do. So worried that the world go end that you go rob your neighbor. That's how in fear you are. You that scared that you go rob somebody that look just like you. You go take from somebody that look just like you. Majority of these stores and gas stations and shit is open during this quote-unquote lockdown. Ain't none of you niggas owning them bitches. But more niggas on the street being robbed than those establishments. More niggas' houses is being broke into than closed up establishments with the owners at home on lockdown, way on the other side of town because they don't live where their stores at. I'm not saying go ravage nobody's business.
Right.
But what you gonna get from Butchie and them? Butchie and them ain't got shit. They waiting on the stimulus check just like you.
Right.
And Butchie ain't even gonna get his because he owes child support.
I was gonna say, is Butchie gonna get it? Right.
So you just didn't want to rob Butchie for nothing, robbed and killed Butchie for nothing, and you knew that nigga ain't had no money because you hang with him.
Damn, that's real cold.
But I digress.
Yep, I agree, Brother Sean. I agree. So, family, what we're trying to say, and this is the 1%. I know you get it. I know you feel where we're coming from. 4%. You are creating your reality. Each piece of news bit that comes out from the quote truth community, that don't mean that shit is motherfucking true and vetted. And if it is, how does it apply to you and what the fuck you gonna do about it? Because if all you gonna do about it is regurgitate, you've done what? Exactly. That's I was silent there on purpose. Nothing. I'm not interested in those things. What I'm interested in, 4%, is you tapping into self And the same way you spread what Q, Elemento P, them motherfucking said, and what Deep State this, that, then motherfucking said, when you tap into the energy grid, the higher frequency energy grid, and get the information and create, that's what I'm fucking interested in. Now you've done something. Now you've done something. So no, I'm not interested in Elemento P now. What somebody supposedly gonna kill me over, how they gonna supposedly and allegedly chip me, I'm not fucking interested in that. But I am interested in you saying, yeah, I was in meditation or this came to me. Come on this bitch and tell me something futuristic, god damn it. Come on this bitch and tell me realms that you visited or realms that you've created. Or even if you don't want to go that far because you haven't gotten to that point and it's okay, come on this bitch and tell me what you want it to be. That's what I'm interested in. 4%, you are just as guilty as the shit you accuse the 95% of. You get a fuckery life. Every other day it is some fuckery on supposedly about what they gonna do to this, that, and the other. Every other fucking day. And folk run with it. Isn't that not creating and tapping into that same fucked up negative realm? Why can't you tap into the higher energies and make some shit happen? That's what I'm personally interested in for me. And I'm not telling you some shit that I don't do. So now again, 4%, everyone is individually responsible for self. This is your opportunity to do you and create for you and yours, to leave a legacy in your bloodline and in your DNA. This is your opportunity. You are witnessing the collapse of a physical and spiritual kingdom. You are literally witnessing the veils being unlifted. 4%, I'm talking to you. Now, what are you going to do about it? So, all right. All right, Purple Pill, you gave us this a couple months ago. You had dropped in the chat some books for research on this topic on white slavery. Thank you for that. I want to read it again. So again, you know, everybody's responsible. If you want additional research on this topic, I'm going to share this with you courtesy of Brother Purple Pill. Redneck Manifesto, How Hillbillies, Hicks, White Trash Became America's Scapegoat, To Hell or Barbados, The Ethnic Cleansing of Ireland by Sean O'Callaghan, The Lost German Slave Girl, The Extraordinary True Story of Sally Miller and Her Fight by John Bailey. You typed a lot of shit in there, Purple Pill. I had to freeze the screen to go back to write all that stuff back. Write that stuff down, rather. White Slavery, Amabella South. White Slavery, Color Isn't the Issue by Michael K. Jones. White Gold, The Extraordinary Story of Thomas Fellow in North Africa 1 million European slaves. So again, that is supplemental material that you are free to use on the topic of white slavery. So again, thank you, Brother Purple Pill, for dropping that in the chat room. That's my second time sharing that with the family. All right, here we go, y'all. Let's get back up in it. We're on White Trash, the 400-year untold history of class in America, Nancy Eisenberg. Now we're in the part of how the white race came with they come up, all right? And we're actually towards the end, y'all, of the series, okay? So what I would like for the family to get out of this series, all of the myths and the limitations that we thought we had because of these events, even that's not accurate, okay? So when we talk about slavery, this series is directly showing you that slavery was far from the way it was officially being told, with melanated people coming from Africa, millions of them, making up the slaves in the Americas, and with white folks being immigrants coming to the Americas from Europe, when it was actually the opposite. Very little African slaves hitting the Americas shores. It was a lot of white slaves, which they coded indentured servants, as well as melanated indentured servants that came to the Americas on contracts. And in the midst of all of this, who was holding the seat of power? Those European kings? Actually, melanated folk, which I call black nobility, right? So we're talking about the King James, King Williams, King Charles now, melanated folk, all right? So the past, from the 1500s on up, false history told in reverse. Right? And folks have taken it into their consciousness, and created a reality for themselves and their generations that follow with the labels of slavery. Okay? And in the meantime, the white folks got the lift up and didn't take on the title of indentured servants or slaves. Okay? So that is the purpose of us doing this series. When we spoke of last year, sweep around your own doorstep, breaking the curses, this is what we are speaking on. You got to break it in your consciousness to clean up your bloodline, because holding on to these titles of slave does not serve you well. You catch yourself in a loop. Holding on to white supremacy, you set yourself up for a loop. So these are the energies. This is the quote, quote, time. This is the age that we are in. So 4%, get on your shit. These are the things that are important. You and your bloodline, your legacy, breaking generational curses, What the fuck you gonna do? Not Elemento P now. All right. So last time we left off, the author says, Sandra, we over in your realm. Well, they done expanded out on the West. Okay? Came over there fucking with the folks up in the West. So I am going to just back up one paragraph. As if this acquisition of the land was insufficient for young Hickory, the second president from Tennessee reverted to his mentor's success rationale. Andrew Jackson had used border skirmish in Spanish Florida as a pretext to launch a war of conquest. All right? So I'm just going to refresh folk memory on Andrew Jackson. Now, this isn't my term. This wasn't Sandra's term. Wasn't Brother Sean's term. The author of this book said he was Tawny, which blew me all the way the fuck back. So you mean to tell me, and those that don't know what Tawny means, go look it up. Associated with being black. Sure when the fuck ain't associated with being white. Okay? Also said that his wife, they call her a fat black wench. So I want you all to really think about that. You mean to tell me that it wasn't a Caucasian white man that took over what we're now calling Florida? Because remember, that Florida territory spanned it pretty far. That, to me, that was fucking deep. That should really change the game on what truly went down. All right? Okay, so here we go. All right, so Polk employed the same methods to invade Mexico. When the ink dried on the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo in 1848, Polk had acquired what would become the states of California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico, my bad, plus portions of Colorado and Wyoming. Well, damn. Ain't that all of the West, or did they leave something out? Shit. That's pretty much all of the West. Anyhow, Democratic President Franklin Pierce added to Polk's booty in 1854 when he secured the so-called Gaston Purchase, a strip of land tacked on to the southern edge of New Mexico territory. This latest investment had been vigorously urged on by the alluring gamble of building a transcontinental railroad to advance Southern cotton interests. Okay, so I just want to point out, this is even deeper than even what the author is going into, although I still think she did an excellent job. She had to talk in code on some things, but if you know what you're looking for, you was able to read between the lines and pick up exactly what she was saying. So, shout out to her. I think she did an excellent job. We're going to back up a little bit. Now, mud flood community. I'm talking to the 4%. Y'all should know what the fuck I'm talking about. When you have the mud flood community breaking down these motherfucking buildings, looking at these motherfucking buildings, looking at these motherfucking star forts, all of them all around the world, those buildings look very much the same. They have the same type of architectural structure. And I've said to you all time and time again that all roads lead to Rome. So meaning, when Brother Sean talks about resets, this is what we're trying to drive the point home to the family. This shit, you got to go beyond with melanated folks shit being taken. It's deeper than that, because the fall happened before this shit that we're talking about right here. The fall, because I say that to say, since that architectural around the world, it matched to the T. Melanated folk ruled. It was one kingdom back then. That one kingdom overthrew the indigenous people, and that one kingdom, they call it the old world. So when you hear old world, that is referring to when melanated folk ruled. Okay? Those black nobles I'm talking about. When melanated folk ruled. Now, whether or not you want to say they were Moors, whatever the case may be, that's your business. But when you hear old world, you are that's associated with the melanated kingdoms. And yes, KW, they can't duplicate those buildings. What I am telling you all, family, even with the melanated rule with that particular kingdom and all of those elaborate buildings, that represented the conquest of indigenous people around the world. So as that old world kingdom was going around the world, either some say they integrated with the indigenous people of the land. They integrated with those kingdoms, and they agreed to go up under the old world system. Now, that's what they say. That's what they say. But when we get into this next series, we're going to talk about frequencies and these different resets. Now, that's what they say. Okay? So what I'm telling you is the old world had its own kingdom across the world. So all of this talk about one world government, God damn it, that done been happened. That done been happened. We got it now, and we had it in the old world. So a fall happened before the old world. Because you have to go back further than that. And all you have to do is look at Mother Earth's landscape. Look at the mining and the excavation that went on with Mother Earth. Who cut down them ancient trees to build those castles, to build those kingdoms? All right? So that within itself is a reset. Then you get to the old world, they kicking it, doing their thing with these beautiful, beautiful castles. And I agree, KW, they can't even rebuild that shit today. If somebody's life depended on it, they couldn't rebuild it. All right? Now, it's in some melanated person's DNA because that's their ancestors now. They can recreate it. All right? So when we get to the changing of another reset, and when they talk about the new world order, they were talking about, and shout out to our dude who laid it out, Lee Cummings. Shout out to him for pointing this out. They were talking about the white folk coming into power. That was the New World, or that is considered the New World. Okay? But make no mistake about it, even with quote, quote, white folks holding the seat of power, they are still connected to the roads of Rome. They are still connected to the old world kingdom. All right? They're just the face of it and called the New World. Okay? And so when the mud flood communities, which I take my hat off to them, they're doing a hell of a job going back, getting these pictures of these older castles and the older ley line structures, and showing you around the world how the ley line cities are all pretty much built the same. Okay? That was purposely destroyed. So, in other words, a reset was done to shut down the old world to start up the new world. Okay? All right. So, all right. Let me take a swig of water. All right. So what did we say? They was buying, stealing up shit. This latest investment had been vigorously urged on by the alluring gamble of building a transcontinental railroad to advance Southern cotton interests. Okay, so as they're talking, and this was 1854, those castles, that shit was already up in existence, kicking it. That shit was already there, probably for hundreds of years. If that was, 1848 and some change, them castles was probably there, and them cities built out across the world for centuries already. Okay, because the technology that the New World had coming into the late 1800s, 1900s, they was really fucking behind. They was behind from what the old world was doing. And to be quite frank, they still really ain't matched what the old world was doing back up in the day. All right? But we're going to get into that in the next series. All right. So, intellectual currents were affected by transcontinentalism as a new idiom captured the public's imagination, advancing beyond Jefferson's concept of a nation with no inherited aristocracy. All right? So, aristocracy is code for old world. All right? You old world folk, you done had your motherfucking chance. Y'all done kicked it, this, that, and the third. Get the fuck on. It's the new world time. Although old world, let's be clear, old world is still putting new world on. New world is just the face. Okay? So that's the danger when Brother Sean harps on it. He been harping on this shit for years. That's the danger when folks want to talk about we taking back over, we doing this, we doing that. Okay, so do you really know what you're saying? Do you really enter and understand what you're saying? So are you the new world, or are you the old new, or are you the old world squared? And if you're either, explain to me how the fuck you have created anything different. Oh, okay then. All right, so here we go. All right. Americans embraced an imperial destiny grounded in biological determinism. The new imperative held that as much as the Anglo-Saxon Americans' racial stock was of superior characteristic. Got to pause again. Well, let me read this last little part of it. The new imperative held that as much as the Anglo-Saxon Americans' racial stock was of superior characteristics, all that was left to do was outbreed all other races. Now, I'm just going to stop. I just want to, let's be clear on this motherfucking Anglo-Saxon. Goddamn, let's be clear on it. Because that term is thrown around a lot. That's a title. White folk, you didn't put that took that motherfucking title. Now I got to get on your ass. You didn't took that Anglo-Saxon title thinking that meant white, baby. You need to do your motherfucking research because that ain't even white. That goes back to old world melanated kingdom. The original Saxons were melanated, okay? So that is another construct that was reversed to create a narrative that turned into a reality of white supremacy. All right? So now, if white folks were so powerful, and why the fuck would they have to outbreed anybody? Unless I'm missing something. What the fuck am I missing? Why would you need to outbreed somebody if you were so powerful? Or is it you had to outbreed to come up in power? Let's be clear. You had to outbreed to come up in power. And you still didn't outbreed. You ain't outbreeded till this fucking day as I speak on that. You haven't outbreeded. Your numbers never caught up, and they never will catch up. But the myth, the mythology that you outbred, the mythology of the purebred Anglo-Saxon, pure white lily blood, created a narrative that became a reality. All right. According to the political arithmetic of 1851, the United States would surpass Europe in importance by 1870, numbering 100 million of free and energetic men of our own race and blood. Did you all catch that? This is where a reset has happened, okay? Going from the old world, which had the melanated folk in power, the melanated folks, the face of the kingdom that was ruling the planet and controlling the people, using the indigenous people shit. The reset was the United States, not America's, the corporate United States being created, and the new world, the new face, the white race, which was invented to become more important than Europe. That is the reset right there. Those of Anglo-Saxon descent, we done already talked about that. White folk, go do your research. Anglo-Saxon is a melanated descent. That lineage, that title were held by melanated, I call them the quote, quote, black nobility. All right, so those of Anglo-Saxon descent impregnated with its sturdy qualities of heart and brain would put Great Britain and the United States on a course of global dominance as representatives of this advancing stock. Okay, so just in this fucking paragraph, she is telling you the come up, the creation, the invention of white supremacy. She's telling you the come up of the change from the old world over to the new world. Old world meaning melanated rulership from that black nobility world to the new world. White Caucasian holding the seat of power. And hence was where the reset started to happen. Okay? And that's why in the 1900s, they started destroying all of those castles and those buildings. So all of those world fairs that they was motherfucking having, that was like the last motherfucking hurrah to show off all that world, old world stuff. Because they was going to destroy the evidence of that particular kingdom to put on the new face. So just as Brother Sean was saying, what the reset really is, I think he said with the motherfucking video games, you just turn that bitch off and put it on a different setting. All right, so here we go. I'm sorry, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
You know, everybody was asking, the questions were asked, why is the United States seal not on the podium when the president speaks? And you kind of like answering it right now, because the reset is what he is telling everybody is going on. I said, ooh, because he doesn't have it on there. I don't think he had it on there today or ever. And I've been trying to ask a military person, what does it mean? And they said that means he's stupid. And I said, well,
now what kind of damn answer is that?
That wasn't the answer, but, you know, because they have to signal. I guess he's signaling the reset with taking the seal off of the podium like that when he's speaking.
Yeah, so, and the one that I heard, and to be honest, I didn't pay close attention to it, but supposedly and allegedly, somebody said, nah, y'all know what y'all talking about, because that seal, when they're holding the press conference in the basement part, they never had that seal on. But when they're above ground, they have the seal on. So it was some fucked up explanation that they gave, and I'm like, okay, well, whatever.
Well, they got the currency working on reset it, so it has to be a reset, because it turned over to BlackRock, you know.
Right.
So the currency is being resetted, and they're going on the gold standard and all this kind of stuff. So
that's what they say.
And then
that's what they say.
The comments coming.
Sorry, go ahead.
Through. The comments coming. So that's a signal of a reset too. So
absolutely, sis. And Trump card is known with just the fact that his name, and that's why I purposely call him Trump card. That's why I consistently call him Trump card, because that Trump card, you could use that motherfucker a lot of ways.
He's a cleanup man. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah. Because I'm a spades player. Yeah, now I don't know the other one that melanated people play. I'm not good at that one at all. But spades, I can burn your ass up on some spades. Mm-hmm. And when you holding that Trump card, baby, you can shit. And when you got both them bitches, shit. People think they finna roll and break out that funk ass ace.
Well,
and you slice that shit up. Go ahead, sis.
When Linus was here, they said he's the reset. I told him then he's the cleanup man. Well,
think about it too, sis. Trump card. Look at his business practices.
Yeah,
he was the king of bankruptcy.
He is.
He's the king of bankruptcy, and he talks in code all the time. He throws around all his businesses being in trust, and pretty much laughed in the media's face when they was like, show your tax returns. He's like, motherfucker, fuck you. I ain't got to show you a goddamn thing. My shit in trust. I don't operate in the public. What the fuck is you talking about?
And he's bankrupting the country. They are bankrupt.
Well, it was already in bankruptcy.
It was already bankrupt.
None of it is real. None of it is real. They are setting it up for a reset. For a totally new system. Now, whether or not you want to feel that that's, good and real for you, and you going to get yours on and popping, that's your motherfucking business.
Oh, they said that home can't work.
Boo.
They said that home can't work, so that means what they have theirs anymore.
Well, it's going to be interesting, because if they break that universal income on their ass,
they become slaves again.
Well, that just keeps people settled. But in the meantime, they're resetting a new system. All right? But it's the same system.
Mm-hmm.
They just changing it up a tad. Just like when we read that motherfucking charter. It was made clear, I don't care how you got to remix it. I don't care if you got to put a new seal on it.
Yeah, but that old girl over there, she done brought out, what's his name? Archie. Now, with that 1% blood of the real melanated people. And she done gotten out of Windsor. She's gone, right? She's still hiding out somewhere. And all of them are gone out.
Who, Merkel now?
No, the
whatever her name is. Oh, yeah, I don't give a fuck about none of that.
They done got out of the palace and stuff. They locked her out.
Well, I'm going to say again, because I'm talking to the 4%. I want you to be clear. That reset of the new system, I don't give a fuck if they back it by gold, platinum. I don't give a fuck about none of that. What I am telling you is, it is to reset the same system. They just giving it a different fucking flavor.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
all still an illusion. Because what they're really after is your soul consciousness. Because the realm, the energy has shifted.
Mm-hmm.
This is about your soul consciousness. Do you roam free in your own quote, quote, sovereignty? Or do you want to rock with the new system, which is really the old system? So I'm going to say this again. Are you new world, or are you old world squared? Are you old world 2.0 squared? And I'm telling you, it's all the same thing. So again, I say, what messages have you got from the realms? What have you personally created? This is about your soul consciousness. And when we get into the next series, we're going to talk about how this shit keeps getting reset. Reset, 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 reset. And it all ends the same. All right, here we go. Sheer demographic superiority was reinforced by the second ruling premise of the new thinking. National greatness rested on the laws of bloodlines and hereditary transmission. Learned traits such as love of liberty and racial exclusivity were now assumed to be passed from one generation to the next. In the essay entitled The Education of the Blood, 1837, one advocate asserted that the knowledge of one generation was literally retained in the atmosphere, and that the aptitude for learning entered the bloodstream and became part of our physical constitution, and is transmitted to our descendants. Now I'm finna stop motherfucking goddamn here, because I don't know this lady. I don't know Arthur Nancy Eisenberg motherfucking personally. But I find it interesting that she put that line in her book. And I highly respect her. Shout out to her, because that's motherfucking deep. She's telling you how the myth of white superiority, the come up of the white race, and just by changing the thought, they created a reality to say that their bloodline is superior. So I'm going to read it again. I'm just going to read that motherfucking thing again so we can be clear. The Education of Blood, 1837. Hold up. Wait a minute. I thought white folk came over here running shit since the 1600s. Oh, okay then. The Education of the Blood, 1837. One advocate asserted that the knowledge of one generation was literally retained in the atmosphere. What does she mean by atmosphere? Frequency? And that the aptitude for learning entered the bloodstream and became part of our physical constitution and is transmitted to our descendants. Weren't they fucking giving them metaphysics, science? Were not in those couple of sentences, one or two sentences, that were giving them science? How to bring their people And 4%, when I keep telling you, you create your reality, I'm not fucking making this up. This is how the white race came up. They conditioned their soul consciousness tapped into the ethers to create their reality, to pass it on to their bloodline. So now 4%, can you really, truly say that you're doing that? All right. Simply taking the savage from his mother in the forest and placing him in civilization would fail to convert him. His blood must be trained and educated. Generation after generation must accumulate respectively as the Anglo-Saxon race has done. They wasn't fucking around, okay? New World was not fucking around. They was in it for generation to generation. It's not accident that I keep saying, sweep around your own doorstep, break generational curses, clean up your bloodline, create your own reality. This ain't the white supremacy motherfucking handbook. They're using metaphysics. They're using your shit. So shit, you can't get mad at them, goddamn, if you ain't gonna use it. All right. The same author compared the phenomenon to the less attractive inheritance of insanity passed on through the father's line and imbibed with our mother's milk. Bloodlines reveal everything. A nation was only as great as its pedigree. America's destiny was determined by large land acquisitions and infused in its people's blood. All right? Now that's out of whoever this gentleman's book, The Education of the Blood, 1837. So now I ask melanated folk, how serious are you about your bloodline? How serious are you about your bloodline? What thought was being put into bringing forth another soul in this realm? The mere fact of who you are partnering up with to bring forth another soul into the realm. How much thought is even given to whether or not you should even be bringing a soul into the realm? What are you teaching your particular bloodline about selecting mates, about who you procreate or have children or bring souls into the realm? This is serious shit. Folk fell asleep at the wheel. A lot of carelessness has gone on. Folk talk toss around the term baby mama, baby daddy like it ain't shit. Folk want to talk about, having multiple wives, bringing a bunch of children into the realm. But I'm going to ask again, what really thought is going into your bloodline? Is it even the right time to bring a soul into the realm? Who are you choosing to bring a soul into the realm? Are you having discussions with your bloodline the importance of these things? We talk about being sovereign, responsible for self. It's everything. It is everything. Because what you do in this physical has ramifications in the spiritual realm and realms. Because each soul that you bring into the realm, you're fucking responsible for that soul. And many don't even enter and understand that you are fucking repeating lifetimes worth of cycles with the fuck shit based on choices that you have made from a procreating standpoint. I know. That's how deep this shit is. All right. So I think we got YouTube. I think our chat got jacked up. So sorry if y'all typing, I can't see a damn thing. All right. So here we go. Okay. The fascination with blood was pervasive in antebellum literature. Southerners were enamored with horse breeding as reflected in the periodical American Turf Register and Sporting Magazine. In 1834, it recorded that American blood, i.e. American thoroughbreds, had achieved a quality of blood as excellent as any in the world. All right. So once again, they trying to compare themselves to that old world and how they rolled with being involved on who they peeps hooked up with. Okay. So in other words, you not just going, who the fuck you? Who was that? No, you ain't finna motherfucking shack up with that person, marry none of that. You can get the fuck on with that. Okay, that's how they rolled. Okay, now some of it got to the sick point where they were interbreeding with each other and fucking up their own gene pool, but nonetheless. All right, avid readers knew the pedigree of most celebrated American horses, learned the long list of sires, while breeders kept and published the records of the American Stud Book to avoid a spurious issue. Horses and humans were identical in this regard. Scottish psychologist Alex Walker revived the debate between John Adams and Thomas Jefferson over whether human beings should breed to improve the race. In Intermarriage, 1838, he strongly encouraged the practice of choosing spouses according to the same natural laws that applied to horse breeding. American health reformers such as Orson Squire Fowler in Hereditary Descent, 1848, recommended the breeding of children with desirable qualities. He emphasized the golden rule of animal breeders attending to pedigree. No longer measured by wealth or family name, the only pedigree that mattered was long-lived ancestors and a sound physical constitution untainted with hereditary disease or bad blood. All right, so now I'm going to pause just right quick again just to bring up a point. Damn, y'all, YouTube, I don't know how to get this chat back working. The feed is still working. Damn. Sorry, y'all. I can't see y'all. Okay, so just to reiterate the sad state of conditions that we are in. Folk care, and I'm on melanated people, care more about the breeding of their motherfucking dog, how pure they motherfucking dog is. I got papers on this dog. I got this dog a purebred. Or they're breeding dogs themselves more than they are with selecting their motherfucking baby mama and baby daddy. That's how far folk have fallen. No thought gone into what soul am I bringing into this realm? Should I bring this soul into the realm? Whom am I bringing this soul into the realm? That's last on the motherfucking list. But that pure pit bull, or whatever the motherfucking case may be, you got papers on that. You proud of that. Then you want to piss, moan, and whine about your baby mama, your baby daddy. Oh, okay. So now we just screwing to be screwing? No inner and overstanding the possibility of creating a life, a soul that you are responsible for on this realm and the next? Oh, okay, then. Okay. The rallying cry in this new advice literature extended to hygienic marriages, the selection of sexual partners with healthy skin, good teeth, well-formed, and vigorous bodies. One had to steer clear of the ill-born who produce nothing but poor and feeble stock. Could America's future be derailed through the infusion of bad blood? A would-be wit put it this way: noble sires, we fondly think only to be surpassed by us, their noble sons. With what reverence we revert to our parent stock. With the pride we talk of blood. With what jealousy we guard against its contamination. Race and helpful inheritance were part of the single discussion. In 1843, the Alabama surgeon Josiah Knott declared that the mulatto as a hybrid was the offspring of two distinct species, as a mule from the horse and ass. Well, goddamn, that's harsh. Damn. It kind of came out swinging on that, child. Real interesting. Really, really interesting. All right. Oh, okay. Mulattoes were faulty stock, a degenerate, unnatural offspring doomed by nature to work out of its own destruction. They were doomed because, like mules, they were prone to sterility. It was a ridiculous theory, of course. He compared mulattoes to consumptive parents, assuming that they had inherited a defective internal organization. not content to confine his remarks to a mixture of Anglo-Saxon and Negro, he echoed the words of the leading English authority on the subject, Sir William Lawrence, that the intellectual and moral character of the European is deteriorated by the mixture of black or red blood. All right, so again, she's breaking down for you all the come up of the white race. Now, earlier in her work in this book, she talked about that the debate was going on between Jefferson and a couple other folks on whether or not the white folk or the indentured servants should be mixing with the black folk, i.e., the Indians, to increase their numbers, this, that, and the third. All right. So as late as they get into the 1800s, now they're setting up the construct of fuck all of that. We clear. Now don't be mixing with nobody. Don't mix with the $5. Don't mix with the Negro. You mix with the white race and keep it pushing, because the new kingdom is on the come up. All right? Okay, because remember, in the 1700s, early 1800s, the mulatto was set up pretty nicely, or they had a leg up advantage. So now they kicking it up another notch, like, nah, fuck all of that. Breed with your own. Okay, we talking new kingdom, not a mixture of the old kingdom with the new kingdom. Alrighty. A similar doctrine of hereditary suicide had already been applied to American Indians. Jefferson's paternalistic projection of acculturated natives was no longer endorsed by most Americans by the 1840s. Okay, so she just proved my point. I don't give a fuck. Don't intermingle, interbreed with the Negroes or the native $5 Indians. Don't do it. Okay, a starker and a dogmatic ideology took hold, arrogantly nationalistic. Native American tribes, a biologically degraded race, could no longer coexist with their Saxon superiors. In 1844, with a cold nonchalance, one writer captured the mood. They retire before the axe and the plow like the forest they once inhabited. God damn, this person came out swinging. So in other words, Rob, did you just come out the motherfucking swamps? Just one generation back, goddammit, your folks was in the swamps, starving to death, toe up from the motherfucking flow up. Now you gonna get sedity on me? So that's basically what he's saying in that line. Now you didn't put down your motherfucking plow, came up out of the forest. The atmosphere of the white man is their poison. They cannot exist among us. The red man was doomed to utter an entire extinction. This belief was not new, just more publicly accepted. Henry Clay had privately voiced the same conclusion 20 years before as Secretary of State. Both Texas and California loomed large in fashioning the Anglo-Saxon fantasy. Jackson Sobler turned Sam Houston, the first elected president of Texas, was a charismatic promoter of the region's freedom fighters. White Texans were, in his word, the embodiment of Anglo-Saxon chivalry. Though the real force behind independence came from a filibuster, a private army of young men directed by their greed for land. Houston saw victory in racial terms. All right? So again, she is describing to you the come up of the white race. Now, Texans, especially Caucasian Texans, boy, a lot of y'all, shit. Y'all just know y'all the shit, according to you. And how your folks done did this and that, well, she's pretty much telling you how the come up of Texas happened. All right? They made it into a race thing. Because remember, this is about a reset. A reset from the old world, which equaled the melanated seat of throne, to the new world, the Caucasian seat of throne. Okay? But it's still the same kingdom. Make no mistake about it. It's just changing the face of the same kingdom. All right. Every Texan had imbibed the principles from his ancestry, his kindred in blood, and was spurred on by his superior intelligence and unsubduable courage. Right? So anybody that's from Texas, you know, especially Caucasian Texans, very, very proud people. I actually like Texas people, Caucasian and melanated. I think Texas people are cool. They're very honest. I just don't particularly like that state. I think it's a little too flat for my taste and a little too dry. But I find that interesting that she's breaking down the origins of that Caucasian Texas pride. All right? So I'm sorry, go ahead, sis. Go ahead.
I'm from Texas.
I know that's your peeps.
But, what I hear is that Darwinism theory is coming out. They're superior to all races, the survival of the purest and the finest, or whatever you see it. And, see, that was their mistake. We talked about that a long time ago. They wanted to stay isolated from the indigenous people because they thought they were it. They were all in all and gods of the world and the planet and the universe. So that's what I'm hearing in all of that too.
Yeah, but sis, I mean, you are an indigenous Texan. Now I don't know if you go back and visit and stuff, but goddamn it, they still feel that way.
Honey, if they ran us off the road, what are you talking about?
Girl.
We went back to California to visit. We walking down the road, and they come in their car, and they act like they were going to hit us and ran us off the road. We walking. So, I don't know if they are today like that, but they were when I was a kid. I'm like, what's wrong with these crazy people?
Now, I do have to say, when I was in Texas, I never lived there, but I had to visit quite often for work and had to go to some small little Texan towns with a lot of Caucasian white folks. And I have to say, I never had a problem with them. They was cool as fuck. Because I was Southern or whatever, and I'm a straight shooter, and I wasn't trying to bullshit them. They was cool with me, so I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like at all I had a bad racial experience in Texas. I did not, okay? But they are a very proud people, very, very proud people, and especially the Caucasians whose family goes back several generations in Texas. And you'll hear a lot of them talk about their relatives fought at the Great Alamo, this, that, and the third, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you also have a lot of proud melanated folks that are Texans too. That they are actual cowboys. They wear the motherfucking hats, got their motherfucking ranches, got their motherfucking boots, own a lot of land, all of that stuff. Yes. AKA Bass Reeves, absolutely. And actually, do you know, Purple Pill, Bass Reeves, right, Bass Reeves was the original Lone Ranger, if I'm not mistaken, who's a melanated man. He's actually from, Bass Reeves is actually from Mississippi. He's actually from Mississippi. So I don't know if he was on an indentured servants contract and he finished up his contract and went out west. But yes, thank you for that, Purple Pill. I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
Well, you know, most of their stuff that they are proud of, especially the Alamo, was based on a lie. So, I mean, because they the ones who moved the markers and transpassed in Indian territory, and then they say it wasn't. But if you go through their history and tell them the truth, they probably shoot you.
Yeah, and that's, again, that's not my responsibility to tell them a goddamn thing, you know, just like it ain't their responsibility to tell me mine and try to tell me who I am, because I would cuss them out. And they will have every right to cuss me the fuck out. So that's on them. You know, it's their responsibility to do their research. But, you know, shout out to this author for putting it out there. I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
The problem is you can't build a strong foundation when the foundation is not good in the first place. That's my point. You know, I mean, you can have all the cultural pride like the white supremacists and all that kind of stuff, but some stole everything. So, you know, the come up is not just in the education in, you know, Ungawa white power. It's also in what you actually did as a culture to whomever you became superior to in your mind. So, and what they did to the culture was pretty dirty. It wasn't
1,000% agree.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I 1,000% agree with you, sis. And, you know, that's why I say, although we're bringing all of this information to light about melanated folks ruling in the old kingdom and the indentured servant contracts and slavery and melanated folks owning Caucasian folks and melanated folks owning melanated folks and looping them into the indentured servant contract, that still does not free Caucasians' participation in the fuck shit. It just don't. That, you know, nobody gets a pass. Nobody gets a pass.
Those things go full circle, you know, so what you put out, you're going to get back. So that's a karma.
Right. And my thing to melanated folk, and I'm talking to you 4%ers, you better be careful if you want to step in line and serve white people up their motherfucking karma. Better be careful.
Don't come back on you.
Exactly. You want to loop? Now, if you want to loop, you want the experience of being on top, do you, boo? Do you? But as a 4%er, you should enter and understand that shit loops back around.
It's true.
Yep. Okay. All right. So, for many others, like Houston, Texas independence was an epic achievement. It symbolized the passage of, baby, I can't make this shit up. Miss Nancy Eisenberg, you are my motherfucking girl. You understand me? Much respect for you, darling. Much motherfucking respect. All right? And family, this is one of the reasons I stopped reading ahead, because I wanted to be surprised on air. I come up on this stuff. God damn it, go on, Nancy. Texas independence was an epic achievement. It symbolized the passage of the scepter from the old to the new world.
They didn't read that Bible.
The purest flowering of the Anglo-Saxon race. She just said what the fuck I've been saying. She just said what Brother Lee Cummings said in the Negro Question Part 6, the 13 Black Colonies. This was about switching from the old world to the new world. A reset. Kudos to you. Kudos to you, Nancy Eisenberg. Houston was actually a strange choice to carry this banner of racial pride. Between 1829 and 1833, before he became president, he lived with the Cherokees, took 2 Indian wives, and sat for a portrait in full Indian garb. His presidential successor had few qualms about cleansing Texas of Indians. Tell it, Nancy. Tell it, baby. Tell it, goddammit. In 1839, the aptly named Marrowbean Bonaparte Lamar, known for his flowery poetry, pursued what he called an exterminating war against the Cherokee and Comanches. Now, wait a minute, y'all. What wasn't Bonaparte motherfucking Napoleon's last name, or is a sister making this up?
No, that's his name. Napoleon Bonaparte.
Bonaparte.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I just want to make sure, because I am country as hell. I could have jumbled that all the way up. All right.
Wow.
The Texas, I know, ain't this shit deep? The Texas National Constitution explicitly denies citizenship to those of African or Indian descent.
That's exactly what it says.
God damn it, let me sip on some more water.
That's exactly what it says. Can never be an American citizen.
God damn it. Shout out to Nancy Eisenberg. Motherfucking shout out to her.
So what's the gift of voting?
We done took and told y'all. We done took and told y'all that shit was never meant for you. We told y'all asses that Constitution wasn't for you.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. All right.
What was it? Renegades and vagabonds? Is that what they call it? No, they call them vagabonds. They call us renegades.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Texas legislator. Now, this is the second motherfucking time Georgia's Constitution said it. Now Texas is saying it. This shit ain't for you Negroes. It ain't for the little bit of Africans that were here. It ain't even for the $5 Indians who they call a red man. It ain't for you motherfuckers. It's for the Europeans. It's for the white, Caucasian Europeans, and for the freed black or melanated Europeans. That's who the fuck it was for. All right.
90 seconds.
So now I'm going to put something on your mind, and I'm not the only one that says this. Not the only one that says this. So now, what was civil rights really about? Folks was marching to get the right of voting and citizenship because of what?
60 seconds.
They like Martin Luther King. Because they sure didn't get nothing out of it.
And that was like the final coffin on all of that citizenship shit.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never set up. It was never set up. That contract was never set up for you Negro, Indians, Indians. Was never set up for you. All right. We talked about the Texas National Constitution explicitly denied citizenship to those of African and Indian descent. The Texas legislature passed its first Emancipation law in 1837. I have to look that the fuck up, y'all. I have it for y'all next week. It was similar to laws enforced in southern states prohibiting marriage between persons of European blood and those of African ancestry.
Marriage. Miscegenation, yeah.
Oh, shit. Now then, okay, sis. And now then, put a star over it, and now I can't even see what the first part of the fucking word was. Okay, my bad.
Miscegenation?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think it's M-E-S.
No, that's not it. It's like I-N. I think it's miscegenation. I just never seen it put together like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
because it's about marriage, I believe, like you said.
Okay. All right, so Texas could lay claim to another dubious first. In 1849, Dr. Gideon Lysom introduced a memorial before the Texas legislature hoping to ensure good breeders. Child, yeah, they off the hook in fucking Texas, too. Tennessee and Texas, y'all off the motherfucking hook. His solution was to castrate criminals in the manner of gelding bulls, thus literally cutting off the bloodline in order to prevent inferior people from reproducing. Okay, so now here we're coming into the mythology, the slavery mythology of melanated people, African slaves, the male being castrated and this, that, and the third.
Parenthood.
Planned
Parenthood, birth controls, same stuff.
Right. Because now remember, to be fair, I gotta start at to not lose my plate. Now to be motherfucking fair, Let's go back to the old world for a minute, because now we're in the new world. She's explaining, she's setting up the come up of the new world, the come up of the invention of white supremacy, the come up of the white race. Now we're going to go back to the old world. Okay? Now, in the old world, when the folks that they are calling the Moors had their white concubines, they was kicking it up, motherfucking having a good funky old time. That's how a lot of the quote, quote, mulattoes came into play. Okay? So now that we in the new world, the Caucasian race, like, nah, fuck that. You're not finna breed with our women. Get the fuck on out of there. Those days are over. All right. Like breeds, like was the basic rule of animal breeding, and degraded stocks of animal were no different than humans. Lysom offered a folksy analogy to make his case. When the horse and the mare both trot, the colt seldom paces. His plan was rejected, but he was merely ahead of his time. Future eugenic policies built upon his blueprint for filtering out bad seeds from America's human breeding stock. So did y'all catch that? So those 4%.
So what was the guy's name?
What's the guy's name who had laid that foundation, who put that energy out there? Lysom. Gideon Lysom. In 1849, Blood put that out.
Because Gates' father did the same thing. So I don't know what his father's last name would have been. Probably, no, because his mother married somebody else. Yeah, Gates' father did that, or grandfather or something. That's where he got his from Margaret Sanger and all them people.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's what they built that whole foundation on. Now, you 4%ers, I know y'all already know what that eugenics whole campaign was about. Motherfucking stinking ass Margaret Sanger's motherfucking funk ass. You all already knew that was suppression of the melanated numbers, but it was, again, to keep increasing the white race's number from a birth rate perspective. Okay? So that's, you 4%ers, you already know that. That's what that eugenics was all about. Because remember, the white race was trying to outnumber the black and brown. They were trying to outnumber it because the black and brown were dominant on the planet. And quiet as it's kept, the black and brown are still really fucking dominant on the planet. But because folks' consciousness has given the energy of the white numbers being higher, folks have rolled with that motherfucking shit as the new world sits on the seat of throne. But now that the age or the energy is changing again, now they're coming out saying, and when I say they, I mean the scientific community, the mainstream motherfucking media scientific community, coming out saying that the white race, they're in a negative birth rate. Okay? So meaning that the numbers are going back to what they quote, quote, say, black and brown. Okay. All right. What do we say? Okay. Let's see at that. Future eugenic policy built upon his blueprint for filtering out bad seeds from Americans' human breeding stock. Okay, because remember, America was being set up as the new dominant seat of power, right? This is the new world, right? So they had to get the motherfucking numbers up from a white race perspective, get them in line from knowing that they are, quote, quote, Anglo-Saxon of a pure white race. Therefore, you need to be breeding with a pure white race. And if they set that one generation's consciousness to know that, then it would only take one generation for that to come into reality, into fruition. So they use metaphysics. They use the reprogramming of consciousness and tapping into the ethereal energy to create that reality in one fucking generation. All right. But as Jefferson and Adams had concluded decades earlier, humans were never very careful at choosing mates. Okay, so that goes back to earlier when I was getting on melanated people motherfucking ass concerned about a goddamn dog's papers versus choosing their mates and how they're bringing souls into the realm. Racial mixing was consequently quite common in Texas. Oh shit, I ain't know that. Sis, did you when you being a Texian and your experience, and I don't know, this could have been way back then. Did you ever hear or experience any of that?
I only went to Texas a couple times in my entire life. I left
okay.
I never have seen that. I have a large family,
okay.
And I haven't even seen it in my family, no.
Okay.
And I've never heard of it. But
okay.
Like it may have been way back yonder.
Yeah, it could have been way back when. It's really, really interesting. But no, it makes sense because if blood, Sam Houston. Shit, this shit is deep. Sam Houston was mixing and mingling.
Big old fat tiny.
Yeah. No, but Sam Houston, it says between 1829 and 1833, before he became president, he lived with the Cherokees.
Yeah,
and had 2 Indian wives, so obviously they were swirling back up in the motherfucking day up in Texas. All right, so the American settlers who had arrived before independence were encouraged by the Mexican government to marry local Tejano women.
They're doing that now.
Men, child, ain't they?
Mm-hmm.
Men were granted an extra land bonus if they did. White male settlers routinely took Indian and Tejano women as concubines, and mixed race children populated the nation and later the state. Well, in Mexicans. Well, I'm finna sip my water. Let me read that shit again. She telling on everybody.
Oh,
shit.
my goodness. Also, they want the Mexicans.
Okay, go ahead, sis.
Whether they want the Mexican women because they thought the Mexican women had the land because they were the ones that came in after us and they thought that they owned it.
But sis, isn't that a reoccurring thing though? Throughout all of this, we see what they motherfucking stinking asses was marrying the women to get the land?
Yeah.
This shit is consistent. So I'm finna read that again. Mexicano, you want to know how you got that motherfucking white skin? Here we go.
They still playing that game.
The American settlers, and they playing it big time over in Africa now with the Chinese.
Nigerians. Man,
Africa with the motherfucking Chinese.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then. Anyhow, the American settlers who had arrived before independence were encouraged by the Mexican government to marry local Tejano women. Men were granted an extra land bonus if they did. White male settlers routinely took Indian and Tejano women as concubines, and mixed-race children populated the nation and later the state. The Mexicans subscribed to a racial class and caste system, but were accustomed to racial mixing. At the top were the descendants of the old Spanish families, those claiming to have pure Castilian blood in their veins. Next came, Castilian, thank you, sis. Yeah, these your motherfucking people and area. Castilian blood in their veins. Next came the Creoles. Creole. Woo, shit. Yeah, I got to sip some more water on that. Folks running around calling themselves Creole. Baby, I didn't expect for her to throw that Creole up in there. Next came the Creoles, the locally born colonists of Spanish heritage who could possess up to 1/8 Indian blood. The lower castes were composed of mestizos of mixed Spanish and Indian background. Indians and Africans. God damn it, let me sip some more water. Don't come playing. Don't come playing. You all saying you Native Americans. Don't come fucking playing.
But they said marry, and they took them as concubines. And that's not a marriage, so they don't own the land. They violated. I guess they play them.
Right. I agree with you, sis. I'm not arguing with you in the one least bit. I'm just all the way fucked up, though. I'm rum. Folks running around talking about they Native American, they're Mexicano, and what their heritage linked to. Okay. I'm side-eyeing this shit.
Yeah.
I'm side-eyeing because a bunch of motherfucking mixing went on in that area. Okay? Damn, yeah, deep. Whoo, child. American men who married well-born women were warmly embraced by Mexican society. As a consequence, after 1836, Texans retained the Mexican distinction between noble Castilians and inferior racial mixed classes.
Castilians are straight from Spain.
And what's tripping me out, though, y'all, is that I'm rum. Now, I don't know. I shouldn't put that on Texas, y'all. And Texas, if I'm wrong on this, I don't mind being wrong. And I straight up apologizes in advance. But do Texans have an issue with the Mexicans coming to Texas? I'm talking today. I'm in today's time. I don't know that for sure. Okay. I know California and them off the hook, boy. It's a real battle in California. All right, Texas, I'm going to give you a motherfucking pass on that.
Since Trump closed them borders because the other presidents were letting them in and they were taking all the jobs, everything.
Because they had breaking news story this week where he had did something this week in regards to immigration.
60 days. He suspended it. See, the Democrats...
Oh, okay. I knew it was something. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sis.
The Democratic presidents like them in because they get to vote. You know, they don't even have to be anything. They just say the residents are visiting or whatever, and they can vote. So they like the numbers because they come into California.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the Republicans don't like it because that makes the balance against them unequal.
Right. Okay, that makes sense, sis. All right, Texas, I'm not gonna even put that lie on y'all. But damn, that shit is deep on that. All right. So by the time of annexation, Anglo-Texans. Now see how that term Anglo that came into motherfucking play.
Mm-hmm.
See how that term that came into play. Okay, just trying to put y'all up on game. Okay, by the time of the annexation, Anglo-Texans routinely ridiculed the dark-skinned, lower-class Tejanos as a sign of degradation among the native population. Here again, common language underscores the degradation of bloodlines. Increasingly, Mexicans were thrown together with blacks and Indians and contemptuously dismissed by Americans in general as a mongrel race. Mongrel was just another word for half-breed or mulattoes, those of a polluted lineage. So, sis, if you don't... I'm sorry, go ahead, sis.
They call that woman in that cabin with that white boy that was married to the white woman.
Yeah, yep. Do you mind looking up for us again? I know you looked it up before,
Mongrel?
the etymology. Yeah, M-O-N-G-R-E-L.
M-O-N-G-R-E. I can't spell.
Oh, you want me to spell it, sis?
No,
M-O-N. Okay.
The individual resulting from the interbreeding. They put this. Of diverse breeds or strain entry, especially one. They go there. A mongrel is a mixed breed dog or mutt. So the mongrels and the mongrels are pretty much the same. It just has a different. But that's also that Genghis Khan interbreeding.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Exactly. So Native Americans, I'm motherfucking side-eyeing. Now you whom? You what? Now, you had a right to cuss me out, tell me I don't tell you who the fuck you are. I will take all that, boo. But I'm just saying, you can't cast a stone at motherfucking melanated folk. Because y'all shit a hot motherfucking mess. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, and in the chat room, Deep H2O said, look at the names of the cities in California, which is where I'm born and raised, and it's all Hispanic. Damn near every major city in California has a Hispanic derivative. Yeah, absolutely. And, I shared with him that years ago, I had this chick who was wearing the title of Jewish, Caucasian, talking about, California, what you mean that's Hispanic? I'm like, San Diego, San Juan. And she looked at me like, oh. I'm like to myself, folks, are that fucking brainwashed? You can't even see all that shit has Spanish derivative. Really? Yeah, Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. Yeah, all of that. The whole thing. I mean, you can't even move in a neighborhood without they running you out. But they say that Texas used to be Mexico. Okay, that's the Texas.
Yeah, that's what they say. Texas.
Right.
Well, and she backing that up too. That it used to be Mexico because the shit was part of Spain, right?
Right. Maximilian was governor or president, whatever he was, of this area.
Right. Right. So now, who ruled Spain for 700 motherfucking years?
The Moors, did they say? That's what
okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, but Maximilian and Pedro, I think Pedro was the first governor of California, but he was melanated, so I hear.
Exactly. And shit, child, I can't remember. Somebody did a drop on the founding of Cali, like building up those first early cities and all of those castles and stuff was melanated folk. And so they even had pictures and stuff. They did an excellent job. Shit, I can't remember who. I can't remember if I read it or if it was a YouTube video. And it was YouTube. Yeah, and so they showed the melanated people dressed in European clothes, and they said that the melanated people had some change. They were wealthy. So I was just putting two and two together, saying that those were the freed melanated men and women, probably European, melanated European, but they were the ones that built those beautiful castles and shit that the mud flood community called, the mud flood castles and stuff. They were the ones that built that shit. So yes, sis, you're absolutely correct that the first leaders of Cali were definitely melanated. So again, and when we say leaders, family, we're talking about building up that old world, that melanated old world. So they were either blending in with the indigenous melanated people, and or they was just taking over. So first the Spanish had it, the melanated Spanish had it. Well, first it was just the indigenous melanated people that had it. Then the Moors ruled Spain, so they came and took over the indigenous melanated folks, and it was said that the Moors brought white folk over there. And then, so I'm talking about the Spanish kingdom. So their mulatto children, they start setting up on those thrones, et cetera, et cetera. And then the mixing of the mulattoes and mongrels started happening within the Spanish kingdom. So when the Moors got ran up out of there, that's how all that stuff is jumping off. I'm sorry. Go ahead on, sis.
You can't forget them Catholic churches the missions that they start.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, the missions, the Spanish start sitting in certain areas of California. It was like a slow takeover.
Yeah, that too. Because, wait a minute, sis, refresh my motherfucking memory. What did they specifically call them? I know you know what I'm talking about. Ding, dang, dang, da, dang.
All the missions, but monasteries and stuff.
Yeah, it was something specific that they called them. I think it was the Puritans, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's some other people.
Okay.
The Quakers. You probably meant the Quakers.
Quakers. Yep, that's what I was trying to say. God damn it. Yeah, the Quakers. Okay. Yep. All right, family. Child, this is a mess.
Yeah.
In 1844, Pennsylvania Senator and future President James Buckingham crudely described an imbecile and indolent Mexican race, insistent that no Anglo-Saxon should ever be under the political thumb of his inferior. His colleague from New Hampshire, former Treasury Secretary Levi Woodbury, elevated the Texas Revolution into a racial war of liberation. Mm-hmm. Saxon blood had been humiliated, and baby, let me sip my water. Shout out Nancy Eisenberg. Shout out Sister Goddammit. Sips water. Tell it, baby. Let me go over this shit again. I got to give this woman her props. I got to give her her props. Saxon blood had been humiliated and enslaved to Moors, Indians, and Mongrels. Shout out to her. I do not hear many white people fucking admit this.
Mongrels, too. Yeah. That's interesting.
I do not hear many white people fucking admitting this. Now I'm going to read this shit again. I wanted to sink in. I'm sorry. Yeah, hey, Brother Sean, I thought you had to take care of some business. Hey, go and put something on it.
I mean, as far as for it sinking in, she clearly made a distinction between Indians and Moors.
Yes, she did. Say that shit, brother.
She clearly made a distinction between Indians and Moors. She did not call them the same people.
Well. Yep. She did. I'm going to read this shit again. Saxon blood had been humiliated. Okay, so now remember Saxon and the New World then became white. So white blood had been humiliated and enslaved to Moors, Indians, and Mongrels. Such rhetoric had appealed far beyond the obliviated oratory of politicians. One Texas woman confidently wrote to her mother, "You feel the irresistible necessity that one race must subdue the other, and they of the superior race can easily learn to look upon themselves as men of destiny." Okay, so again, she is describing to you the upcoming, the come up rather, of the white race. She is telling you that they were enslaved by who? Let's motherfucking recap that again. Enslaved to Moors, Indians, and mongrels. This was 1844.
That was over here, right? So that means the mongrels in this part of the earth taking over like Genghis Khan people did. Mm-hmm.
Right, so that proves that the Indians and mongrels were all together, right?
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Chief Warhorse had motherfucking said.
Yep, the Native Americans.
Right, those that they're calling Native Americans today. So that represents the mongrels.
Right.
Now, this is 1844, y'all. This ain't motherfucking 1619. Let's be motherfucking clear. This ain't 1619. The narrative that's given 400 years of slavery for Africans and everybody with melanated skin fit that category. God damn it, this was in 1844. Blood said the Saxon blood. Saxon had been remixed to mean white. Had been humiliated and enslaved to Moors, Indians, and mongrels. All right. Supporters of Texas, baby, Texas, y'all got the motherfucking true teeth. Supporters of Texas annexation dramatized the urgent need to preserve a safely Anglo-Saxon society continent-wide. Anglo-Texas would protect all Americans from the semi-barbarous hordes, whose poisonous compound of blood and color flowed through the arteries of the mixed races in Mexico. That is what Senator Robert Walker of Mississippi argued in Congress and reinforced with the widely influential 1844 letter on the annexation of Texas. Though a withered shell of a man, barely 5 feet tall and only 100 pounds, Walker had become the most powerful Democrat in Washington. All right? So, y'all that want to give all that motherfucking credit to the Democrats with that fuck shit, I'm just saying. All right. As ludicrous as it now sounds, he proclaimed that Texas would magically drain free blacks, mulattoes, and other African mongrels from the United States. All right, so Brother Sean, I didn't misread that. Thanks for you for pointing out the motherfucking Moors and Indians. You want to point that part out for the family?
American mongrels and African mongrels? That part?
Right. The fact that she distinctly called out a couple of categories. Texas would magically drain free blacks, mulattoes, and other African mongrels from the United States.
Mm.
So now
don't forget he's a Democrat.
since you had to get that in there before I was getting ready to get my little point across. So I didn't motherfucking hear her lump Africans all as one category.
No, African mongrel.
Okay. I'm just, I want to put words up in the sister's mouth in her writings. All right, from ciphering off the dangerous dregs of slavery's path into South America. It was a racist theory with a familiar ring to it. Benjamin Rush's migratory model of 1798, in which Pennsylvania would filter out the weaker squatters. Okay, so now let's just recap just real quick because I want us to be clear. Who was known as the squatters? Wasn't it the indentured servants?
No, you're aristocrats now.
Right. Oh, you're Anglo-Saxons.
Oh, they're the Anglo-Saxon aristocrats.
Right, you're Anglo-Saxon aristocrats. Oh, okay then. Pennsylvania would filter out the weaker squatters by dispatching them to the lazy, cracker-filled South. Walker simply added another piece of the pseudo-scientific evidence to make his case. A high number of free blacks in the northern states suffered from insanity. Here was another example of political arithmetic gone awry. Since the Southern senators intentionally misused the U.S. Census data, as Alabama's Joshua Knott had done, on black inmates in northern asylums, his main point was that free blacks were congenially weaker in the mind and body and ill-suited for freedom, in contrast to the supposedly healthy and contented slaves in the South who did not have to aspire to liberty. Okay, so now once again, what year is this? Did she go into a different motherfucking year? All right, now we still up in 1844. Let's be clear. We're talking about the narrative of taking the slavery narrative from the rebranded Anglo-Saxon whites who were under the Moors, the Indians, and the mongrels. Now we own the motherfucking free blacks. We got to put them on the title of slavery, them as being genetically inferior, etc., because they're setting up the narrative of the white supremacy race. So from indentured servants / slaves to squatters, vagabonds, now they're pure blood Anglo-Saxon white race. The heavy-handed rhetoric cut both ways. Texas was to be rescued to strengthen America's pedigree, but the admission of too many Mexicans into expanded union could undermine America's racial stock. Georgia Representative Alexander Hamilton Stevens, future vice president of the Confederacy, asserted that the great majority of Texans were from good stock, the right kind of people, worthy of breeding and mixing with other Americans. he employed a familiar marital metaphor from the book of Genesis to make his point. As heirs of the Americo-Anglo-Saxon race, Texas were from us and of us, bone of our bone and flesh of our flesh. Opponents of the Mexican-American War used the same race-specific language in an effort to limit the amount of territory to be taken into the United States. Breeding was expected to be an increasingly important weapon in Americans' imperial arsenal during the one-sided war. Yankee soldiers were expected to settle in occupied territory, marrying beautiful senoritas, and achieve a new kind of annexation. Okay, so I find it interesting. They talk that shit about Mexicans being too black and too mongrel, but they show taking an opportunity to marry the motherfucking senoritas for some land.
But the senoritas were from Spain. See.
Okay, I'm going to get them that. Okay, yes. I'm going to get them that. Okay, touche. Okay.
Us. They mix with us mostly.
Okay, I'm going to get them that. Touche. All right, but they couldn't have been that lily white. I'm thinking the senoritas at a minimum were probably mulatto. But okay. All right, this was what happened in California, as illustrated by the remarkable career of a young Tennessee officer, Cave Johnson Coots. Goddamn it, Tennessee, damn. Y'all know y'all had some fuckers in y'all time. Probably still do. A close friend of President Polk. He married a daughter of a wealthy Mexican rancher, received a large tract of land from his brother-in-law, and built a grandiose home, which he filled with his 10 children. By the 1860s, he owned over 23,000 acres and had established himself as one of the ruling patriarchs of the new state. Damn. Okay, so he basically married into getting that motherfucking land. Same formula. All right, yet Californians' early history had been as grim as that of Texas. Okay, goddamn it, California, we on y'all ass. But that Mexican and Texas stuff, y'all, I really got an education tonight. All right, both of these extensive territories were overrun with runaway debtors, criminal outcasts, rogue gamblers, and ruthless adventurers who thrived in the chaotic atmosphere of Western sprawl. The California gold rush attracted not only grizzled gold diggers, but also prostitutes, fortune hunter, and con men selling fraudulent land titles. Okay, so I'm currently, and I know it's been on the air for quite a while, I'm just getting caught up to it. I'm on season 2 now. I tried to watch it before. It wasn't resonating with me. Something said, pick it back up. So I'm on Westworld, y'all. Okay, so anybody, that's an HBO series. Anybody familiar with that? That first season is all about this world. Now, Westworld, I'm going to tell y'all something. And we're going to go into Westworld this next series. That's a bad motherfucking series. I put it up there with, what's the one with Regina King? Now, I don't even know if they able to do their season 2 with all this Rona stuff. Y'all know what I'm trying to talk about. The one with Regina King them. It's on that level, all right? Because it's a lot of metaphysics stuff in there, and it's also purely talking about transhumanism, all of that as well. So I just want to throw that out there. I can't wait until we get into the new series to hit on a lot of this stuff. So anyway, among the Texas and California cutthroats who captured the American imagination was the half-breed Mexican and white. He was known for his mongrel dandyism, loud jewelry. Hell no, she's so motherfucking wrong for this. Whew. He was known for his mongrel dandyism, loud jewelry, and flamboyant clothing. In a certain sense, California reverted to older British colonial patterns. Though it entered the Union as a free state, prohibiting slavery, the legislature soon passed a series of Byzantine laws permitting the indentured servitude of Native Americans. Between 1850 and 1854, nearly 20,000 Indian men, women, and children were exploited as bound servants. It was John Smith's Jamestown all over again, even to its out-of-balance male-to-female ratio. The popular presses back east appealed for white women to move out west. Here go the fuck shit again. Gotta get them white numbers up, okay? Because New World got to get their shop set up to run the New World Kingdom with the newly created Anglo-Saxon white superiority race. Right? You need white women to do all that. Right? The popular presses back east appealed for white women to move out west. Some of these were earnest requests, while others satirized Californians' desperate plea for good breeders. A popular 1815 French caricature featured women packed in crates like everyday commodities, ready for export to female starved California. Okay, so this is like Nancy Eisenberg said, the author says, this is the same narrative that we see repeated, what was going on out east and in the South, okay, getting up those white numbers. All right, because remember, the planet, not Africa, the planet was melanated. It was tawny and brown. It was melanated. Okay, so again, not Africa. Not just Africa is what I'm trying to say, y'all. My bad. Not just Africa. We're talking the planet. So it cannot be possible that everybody that's melanated fucking came from Africa. It's not possible. All right. The United States Magazine and Democratic Review prophesied that if prospective wives were shipped off to California at the rate they were needed, the institution of spinsterhood will become extinct in America. All right. So we're going to go to last words. There go that Democratic again. The Democrats were showing some fuckery from way back when. They was into some fuck shit. So we're going to go to last words. Sis, you have any last words for the family?
No, I'm good. I'm listening to my my history.
Okay. I know. Hopefully this enlightened you, but Texas fucked me all the way up, sis. I ain't finna sit up here and lie.
Yeah, Texas.
That fucked me all the way up, and just Mexico. that fucked me all the way up to just know of the mixtures that went on and how folks that's carrying the title of Native American with a straight motherfucking face try to tell somebody who the fuck they are, baby. Boo. Boo. You better motherfucking rethink that.
Yeah. They the mongrels.
Baby, no words to describe. Brother Sean, you have any last words for the family?
Basically the same thing. You got to put in your work for self. Nothing else matters. It's all about you and what you need to do for you, not what somebody else gonna do for you. Because all somebody else gonna do is put you right back into a reset of a system and feed off of you.
Yep.
Love you.
Indeed. Indeed. All right, so I want to thank my co-host, Brother Sean, and Sis Sandra. I want to thank the Blog Talk family, thank the YouTube family. We're going to be back next week. We're almost done with the series, family, but I am purposely seeing it all the way through because I want us to be clear on the invention of the white race, the invention of this concept of white superiority, the distinction between the old world and the new world. Watchmen, thank you. Watchmen was the series I was trying to think of where Westworld is on that motherfucking level. So when we get to the next series, I'm finna break my fucking Westworld down because it's got it all in there, family. And I'm only in season 2. I haven't even got to the new shit yet. Okay, so YouTube family, I want to thank you all as well. We're gonna rock out with some music. So of course, I don't want to be stricken down with copyright fucking around with YouTube. So I'm gonna have to end the stream. So love you all very much, YouTube, and we will be back next week. Peace and love.